Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. On behalf of the Asian Development Bank, I'd like to thank PICPA and partners for inviting me to share on the ADB work on asset management in the region. It's really a privilege to be invited and speaking amongst some very distinguished speakers this morning. It's really opened my eyes on all the different perspectives of asset management. Today I'll be giving you a very brief overview of how I perceive asset management as well, and also our ADB's experience in the region. As introduced, I'm a transport sector specialist, so my presentation on asset management will be mostly focused on the transport sector, but as has been explained, the principles of good asset management apply across all sectors. So just to start off, as many of you know, ADB is a multilateral bank owned by 67 member countries, of which 48 are developing member countries in which we have operations. And we provide concessional loans, grants, technical assistance, and knowledge solutions to our developing member countries. Our overarching goal is reducing poverty in Asia and the Pacific through inclusive economic growth, environmentally sustainable growth, and regional integration. And this is articulated in our Strategy 2020. It underwent a midterm review last year, and it states that ADB will continue to strengthen outcomes in its core area of business, which is infrastructure development. Now, as has been demonstrated in all of the presentations, asset management is a key priority for all infrastructure sectors to ensure that infrastructure development is sustainable. So here's yet another definition of asset management. According to the Transportation Research Board, it's a business process. So as mentioned, it's not just a standalone computer system, but a business process that incorporates the economic assessment of trade-offs among alternative investment options to help make cost-effective investment options. So based from our perspective, asset management is a good way to ensure that the best value for money is obtained through the activities of maintaining, upgrading, and operating physical assets. And usually, well, it consists of four main elements, which is an inventory of assets, a method to assess current asset condition or performance. So in the transport sector, this could be through visual inspection surveys, through using instrumentation, and as well as new technology that's coming available. For example, nowadays there are mobile phone-based applications which help measure the roughness of the road. It also includes a process to determine needs. So this could be through a cost-benefit analysis, through multi-criteria analysis, road maintenance prioritization strategies, and tools to evaluate and select appropriate strategies to address the needs and monitoring and evaluation of strategies. So this could be through GIS systems, public feedback, agency monitoring, etc. This is an asset management system that was modified from the Japan Concrete Institute in 2006, but has been used by our transport sector. And it basically shows the main elements required for an effective asset management system. A well-functioning infrastructure asset management system will provide information required to prioritize new capital development, rehabilitation and maintenance needs. And a higher level asset and accounting management system will provide information on inventory, asset condition, geometry, and valuation of assets in order to support the overall budgeting process. And obviously these two systems are interdependent. This slide was taken from the the brochure that Lorena provided on the infrastructure maintenance in the Pacific, the build, neglect and rebuild paradigm. And basically what it is showing is the value for money achieved through proactive maintenance prioritized through asset management in Papua New Guinea. So this has been obtained from, so when capital costs are excluded, the cost to government of maintaining the road in a usable condition is about 1.1 million kina under a preventative maintenance strategy. But under a build, neglect, rebuild scenario with reactive maintenance, the costs are over 4 times as much at 4.6 million kina. So the incremental life cycle cost of maintaining the section of sealed national road shows that while the strategy involving no preventative maintenance delivers initial savings, in the first 6 years, they're very small when compared to the eventual impact of deferred maintenance on the life cycle cost, as can be seen over the 25-year period.
Yes, there's something wrong with that graph. Those figures cannot be in kina per kilometre, 2,000. So you can't possibly cost 2,500, 2 million kina per kilometre to maintain a road. 2 million kina is about 800,000 US dollars.
Yeah, that's correct. I'll double check on those figures. It could be that they are 2,500 kina rather than 2.5 million kina. Thanks for pointing that out.
I would say that that was consistent with Australian experience. So. Right.
Okay, so really that figure was to demonstrate the benefits of proactive maintenance through asset management principles. But here are the benefits that I'd like to articulate. So in terms of benefits, one of them is that efficient fund utilization is assured. That means that the funds for the right work are being invested in the right assets and utilised for specific purposes that they are allocated for and not being diverted to other areas. You also achieve savings in agency costs. Maintenance activities are prioritised to reduce the amount of rehabilitation or new capital expenditure required downstream. Asset performance is improved, so more efficient fund utilisation means more assets are sustained in a maintainable standard. This obviously leads to savings in user costs, and it provides improved communication and knowledge about the assets for all stakeholders. As David mentioned yesterday, you know what you have, and you know how it's performing. Finally, there's an overall improved satisfaction of using the improved assets. This has reputational benefits for the asset owners, the line ministries, the operators, and the governments, etc. This table shows the typical structure of development partner support and how we get involved in asset management. So on the bottom of the table, you can see our typical inputs, which could be an infrastructure project or investment and technical assistance. And the outputs that flow from that are on the second level of the table, where you expect outputs from the investment, such as policies and strategies, establishment of asset management systems, databases, operational structures, etc. And the top part of the table shows the outcomes or the objectives expected from the investment or technical assistance, which we just went through in the previous slide. So we've had a range of asset management projects in ADB across the region in Cambodia, Pakistan, PNG, Solomons, Timor, and Vietnam. And they have been largely focusing on maintaining and rehabilitating rather than capital investment so that our developing countries can sustain economic growth using existing infrastructure and limited resources. So in PNG, a road asset management system, as an example, a road asset management system in PNG was established in 1998 through 2 technical assistance projects. They established a road information database, geographic information system, and used HDM4, which is a economic modeling developed by the World Bank to prioritize maintenance and rehabilitation activities. There were some challenges to this. The HDM4 models needed to be calibrated and reviewed regularly, and we needed to ensure that there was adequate institutional capacity within the Department of Works to carry out these tasks. Data collection capacity needed improvement as well. Data accuracy and consistency required quality checks. So when you do your data collection, you need to ensure that it is accurate. Otherwise, it might be a exercise of garbage in, garbage out. So we do need to ensure that quality is required. In the Solomon Islands, I mentioned yesterday as well that there was a development of a network inventory system, and that was established in 2007. An asset management committee was also established, and a national transport plan to prioritize investments was also established. So the surveys were first undertaken in 2008 to collect the asset inventory. Condition surveys were done, and the asset management system was finally established and commenced implementation in 2009. To date, it is still being implemented, and the National Transport Plan is updated every 3 years. It is currently undergoing a review. As a result of its continuing performance, ADB just last week approved a new loan in the Solomon Islands. It's called a results-based lending modality, which basically is an output-based type of lending in which our disbursements are linked to certain outputs being achieved. It's a very new modality of lending. To date, I think all multilateral development banks have approved a total of 7 results-based lending modalities. And this is the very first results-based lending project that has been approved in the transport sector. Results-based lending in the transport sector is thanks to an objective asset management system, an overarching national transport policy and plan, and a well-functioning dedicated road fund. Just in terms of lessons learned, these are 5 points that we consider quite important when establishing asset management systems in our developing member countries. The first is that stakeholder ownership is essential. Government staff needs to be engaged so that they can appreciate the importance of asset management. I hope I'm speaking to the converted today. But this is really important for central planning ministries such as finance ministries, national planning ministries, and those who are responsible for annual budgeting. Because they are required to understand the budget required for proactive road maintenance. Asset management systems should be tailored to the institutional capacity of the agency implementing it. So what you want is an asset management system that is fit for purpose and meets the needs of what's required for the developing member country. So a state-of-the-art asset management system may not be the answer, especially if it cannot be populated, maintained, or operated properly. It would just cost a lot and not achieve the outcomes that you're aiming for. Outcomes of the asset management system must be agreed up front to demonstrate its effectiveness to its stakeholders. Obviously, when a central ministry allocates budget to proactive maintenance, they want to see results. And so your asset management system should be linked to the results that you're trying to achieve. Appropriate IT should be used to ensure the asset management system is fully implemented. Again, this goes back to ensuring that you have something that's fit for purpose. And finally, implementation of an asset management system requires long-term commitment in order to demonstrate its full benefits of cost-effective infrastructure delivery. And I think that was demonstrated, again, in the PNG example where the benefits were only realised 6 years on. So to conclude, there is an ever-increasing need for good asset management practice and systems to ensure cost-effective delivery of infrastructure. This is more so as global infrastructure stock continues to grow. There are multiple new technologies to support effective asset management that can help lower costs, but they must be fit for purpose and suitable for the country context in which it is operating. Thank you very much.